That he led them out as far as Bethany, raised his hands and blessed them. And he blessed them, he parted from them and was taken up to heaven. They did him homage and then returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and they were continually in the temple praising God. Good morning. Welcome to a short biblical reflection on the reading for the Feast of the Ascension, which in some places is celebrated just today on Thursday. In many other places it is moved to the coming Sunday. The reading in the lectionary is from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 24, verses 46 up to 53. Also in the first reading from the Acts of the Apostles, we have the description of the Ascension, but I will just focus on this Gospel reading. And as usual, I would like just to extend it a little bit for the sake of better understanding, because the verses selected in the Gospel reading in the lectionary just report part of, we could say, half of the first story, the appearance to the 12, which is immediately followed by the description of the Ascension, which is only included in 4 verses. So therefore, for the sake of that shortness of the description of the Ascension, we can understand that also the preceding verses were added, as well also because the description of the Ascension just starts as it is here translated. Then he led them out as far as Bethany. So the way how it starts, for sure it connects with what precedes. But the reading could be also extended to the whole description of the appearance of the risen Lord to the 12. In particular, the verse immediately preceding our Gospel reading in the lectionary, verse 45, where it is stated, "Then he opened their minds to understand the scriptures." Up to that moment, in Luke's Gospel, we could see the disciples that they were falling short of understanding of the teaching of Jesus. Of course, it is now still before the Pentecost, but already we could call it like a small Pentecost in this, because Jesus now made the disciples understand the scriptures, the teaching. Therefore, he starts with this particular reference to the scripture. Thus it is written that the Christ would suffer, raised from the dead on the third day, and that repentance for the forgiveness of sins would be preached in his name to all the nations. And now there are the references which I also put in bold, beginning from Jerusalem, you are witnesses, and then later on, I'm sending the promise of my Father upon you. All these references now go with the second book of Luke, with the Acts of the Apostles, because we have also take this into consideration. Luke is the author of those 2 books, so most probably already at this moment, when writing the last verses of his Gospel, he had in mind also the second book, the Acts of the Apostles. Therefore, there are those strong references which go with what will be presented in the second book. And now, as it concerns explicitly the Ascension, even if it is just presented in 4 verses, also I put some statements in bold. For example, the fact that he blessed them, then repeated again, he blessed them, he parted from them and was taken up to heaven. Then statement about the great joy and what they were doing, but continually in the temple praising God. Those last verses of the Lucan Gospel, in my view, can recall the beginning of the Gospel. Let's see it. In particular, the strong link is between the Ascension and the presentation of Jesus in the temple, where we have that mention of the elderly people, the Simon and Anna. First comes Simon, who is waiting for consolation of Israel. that consolation of Israel could be linked to this joy, the great joy in Jerusalem expressed by the apostles. On the other hand, the double blessing we find also in the description of the presentation of the of Jesus in the temple. In verse 28, he took him into his arms and blessed God, saying, and then in verse 34, and Simon blessed them. And lastly, we have also this mention about Anna, which never left the temple, but worshipped night and day with fasting and prayer. Similarly, what now they are doing, the disciples, the apostles, they were continually in the temple praising God. For those who are studying a little bit more scripture, for sure you could have in mind the scholarly opinion that the evangelist like Luke based his gospel on different sources. I would like just to point out that even that they were using some sources. In fact, Luke himself admits it at the beginning that he consulted some sources that others already attempted, so he's aware about others who attempted writing the gospel. But in spite of it, in that way, that connection shows that Luke is an author in himself. How he described the presentation of Jesus in the temple, it is also reflected in the Ascension. So we can see the link between those two stories. As well, also we can see that it is one hand who is writing the gospel. I would like to wish you a nice day, a nice reflection on this gospel.